All right, Temur Vannifar. This session has to be about an hour, so we might play some more of this another time because we have the draft thing starting at 11 o'clock. It's about 9:45 now when I'm starting. So Vannifar, for those not familiar, is this card which is Pod Mom or Fairy Pod Mother in homage to the card Birthing Pod. You can search your library for a creature with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the thing you sacrifice. We've got Risen Reef and Omnath in here as a small elemental plan. We've got a Cavalier of Gales as a 5 that keeps shuffling back into our deck, which is sweet, so we never run out of 5s. And then we've got Agent of Treachery up here at our top end to steal big things. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches and see how this goes. Warder, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. And Dim Lardis, thank you for the 3/4 of a year. Robinson, thanks for the 17 months. Oh, I should reroll for a 750 gold quest. Good call. Never lucky. You should always reroll 500 gold quests though, because you get a chance to get a 750. So it's just strictly good EV to always reroll those. Expected value is EV. It's a poker, it's a gambling term. This hand's great. One of the things I really like about getting to play Vannifar in this deck is that we get to play 4 Arboreal Grazers and not feel bad about it, because we can pod Arboreal Grazer into Fblthp to draw 2. Robo Reagan, thank you for the support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Leyline of Abundance. Turn 3 Nissa in my future. Smells like turn 3 Nissa. Turn 3 Nissa smells like standard. Kept a 2-lander on the draw. Explored twice. On track to miss our 3rd land drop. Sounds like magic. Are we having fun yet? I'm having fun. Block. This is actually pretty okay against Nissa. It blocks the lands outside of combat and then comes back, and it attacks her in the air. We've got a second one to follow up, so we can pressure her. We can block, pressure her, and then have another one to hold back next turn. And then they played a reach creature, and we were dead. Well, so much for that plan. Yeah, that was a turn 3 Nissa without elves, but like, we also aren't playing a deck with interaction. Like, it's much easier to interact with a 2-mana mana dork than a non-2-mana mana dork. And that's one of the reasons why a mid-range deck like what we're playing probably isn't super competitive, just because it's like we've talked about, like, a lot of these mid-range decks I'm probably not going to be accepting moving forward, because they just aren't competitive against these mass manipulation decks. They just go way far over the top of what we're doing. Mana. Would you like my board? What does over the top mean? It means their plays generate much more value than ours. So like this goes over the top of what we have. Like they spent one single card to like be better than every card we could put together, basically. And that's one of the things that made last season's standard format really unenjoyable and frustrating, in my opinion, was the fact that there were so many of these decks where like the only thing they were interested in doing was just going way up over the top of anything other mid-range decks could possibly do, which made brewing in the format really hostile. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. I think the standard format is incredibly well balanced, but I also don't think the play patterns are particularly fun, which is subjective, so you're welcome to disagree with my assessment of fun or not, but it's definitely how I feel. I think I'm actually not going to board in Lava Coil. I'm just going to bring in these counter spells and hopefully hold those up. Yeah, let's go to Fblthp. The pro, like, I've heard other people bring up the pro blue dino in response to mass manipulation, and it's just like, do you understand that, like, if you lose the rest of your board, it doesn't matter if you kept a 5/4? Like, the 5/4 is not saving you. Like, pro blue dino's, like, fine again. It's good against mono blue, and it's, like, fine against Teferi if they don't have, like, one of their black or white removal spells for it. But, like, it's not good in these manipulation matchups. It's just too slow and clunky and fair. I mean, to be fair, playing a bunch of counterspells is probably pretty okay in this format against everything other than 3-mana Teferi. So, like, maybe playing a deck with a bunch of counterspells and, like, ways to take Teferi off the table could be okay. Like, these Simic decks are very, very light on the actual number of cards that are impactful. So, like, a well-placed counterspell does disrupt them pretty significantly. Reef can stay there. Maybe I'm supposed to leave the Disdainful Stroke there too. Hey, Big Show, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around.
We will not fail.
So we've been turn 3 Nissa 2 games in a row. Sounds about right. Yeah, Kaya's Wrath, Kaya's Wrath plus some counterspells seems pretty reasonable. This, if I hit a land next turn, I can play the Agent of Treachery. We're playing Boreal Druids over Elves of Deep Shadow because, and honestly, it might be right to play all Boreal Druids because the playing Nurturing Peatlands means our mana base is dealing more damage to myself, so I want to take less damage from my mana creatures. Yeah, I think Mono Blue's great. In fact, I think part of the reason why the blue-green tempo deck that's been going around has been doing well is because it's very similar to Mono Blue tempo. I don't know which frames these are offhand, Oucho. Sorry. If you message me on Discord, I can look it up for you after my stream today, but that won't be till late tonight. That's true. My opponent is actually representing their username well. Usually people have names like Simic for the win, and they'll be playing like Groll or Rakdos. It's like, I kind of appreciate someone's username being Simic for the win, and like they're actually playing a Simic deck. Stroke me, daddy, stroke me. Oh, yeah. You know just how I like it. We did play against this person yesterday. I think we played against them twice yesterday. There do not seem to be a lot of people in Mythic at the moment.
Rise, my elemental friend.
There seems to be an incredibly small number of people in Mythic. There's been a lot of repairs in my last few times playing last week playing on the ladder. And honestly, I'm kind of hopeful that there aren't that many people playing, because if people aren't playing on the ladder, that means Wizards might actually change something about the standard format. They might come down off their standard as healthy high horse if their numbers are bad. Why not play the constructed events? Because we're still new enough in the format frags that I want the flexibility to be able to make changes to a lot of these decks between matches. Like once we're playing with more established decks, and like I'm less likely to want to make changes in between every other match, playing constructed events is more meaningful. The constructed events are you pay an entry fee and then you play till you have 5 wins or 2 or 3 losses. And then you get prizes based on how you do. I believe it's 2 losses. And if you get at least 2 match wins, you get your entry fee back. So if you're someone that's grinding as a free-to-play player or someone that just wants to make value and you don't care about being a particular rank in Mythic, playing the constructed events is actually really good EV. Because if you even go 3-2, you end up in-game currency. That being said, when you start a constructed event, it locks you into the deck that you've submitted. So basically it means when I'm trying to like tune decks and like work on things in the early season, I can't play something and then edit it and then play it again, etc. Hey, Surface, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We be grazing, chat. Yeah, I've been kind of disillusioned with Standard since War of the Spark kind of settled in the format. And I feel like M20 hasn't really meaningfully changed much. We'll see where it takes out. It's still very early. There's a big Standard tournament this weekend run by Star City Games. There's a Standard Grand Prix next weekend that's run by Channel Fireball. And those 2 tournaments will really kind of set the stage for like what people are playing. Yeah. I think this format seems like it's competitively diverse, but I think the play patterns are not casual friendly. I feel like it's a really bad time to want to be doing sweet things in Standard. What was that? That was a good draw. One brainstorm, please. I'm gonna redraw one of these next turn, right? Do I want Agent in my deck, or do I want Agent in my hand? Actually, I want to draw Agent next turn, right? Because I'm gonna be able to cast it. I have 7. Oh, I could have scryed the land to the bottom. I forgot I hadn't played a land yet this turn. Rotation is definitely something to look forward to. 5 mana Teferi leaves, Llanowar Elves leaves, a lot of good things are leaving. Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, the tournaments are paper the next 2 weekends. I wish we had regular big tournaments every weekend on Arena, but they just don't have the infrastructure to support that, unfortunately. Alright, so I'm gonna cast this Agent of Treachery and take this 5/5. And then, yeah, alright. Wadakiss, thank you for the 2/3 of a year of support. I appreciate that. You think structuring constructed events like MTGO leagues would help make Arena a more competitive environment? I think it's absurd to imply that MTGO leagues are automatically competitive. I think it's comical. I think playing ranked on the ladder is far more competitive than a league structure could ever be. This idea that if you're paying an entry fee, you're automatically becoming competitive is just like beyond idiotic, in my opinion. Any idiot can pay an entry fee and play in a tournament. Not every person can grind up into a higher ranking. And that's a narrative that I see pushed a lot, that like, if you're paying an entry fee, it's more competitive, and I just think it's just patently silly. Very, very silly, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong. Gambling is fun. Gambling's fun, but putting an entry fee doesn't automatically make things more competitive. Do I write articles everywhere? I write infrequently for coolstuffinc.com. You can find my stuff here, but I don't write weekly or anything like that. So streaming's my full-time gig, so I spend probably, 50 to 60 hours a week doing Magic stuff for my streams. So my written content is just like as I can find time to do it, basically. The CN finds a red source or a blue source, it's like pretty reasonable. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep here. I think I'm gonna bottom this. We're definitely not bottoming that. I think I'm bottoming. Am I gonna bottom the land? No. I'm gonna bottom Prep Speaker. Yeah, let's bottom this. Let's hedge. The Omnath requires red and blue mana. These cast with either or, so they're probably better to keep. The mulliganing the first hand was because my opponent's deck has an aggressive lean, and that hand didn't do anything if my opponent didn't do anything till turn 3. Yeah, it's just too slow on the draw. I'd probably keep it on the play, but on the draw, I think it's not good enough. Not attacking here, because they could have raised the alarm. We're so good at Magic, chat. Right, that's a Temple of Tilt, but it means we'll have blue mana next turn. I think I'm gonna go ahead and Lava Coil the Knight this turn just because I want to spend my mana. They baffling ended my elf. That's good for us. Morning, gamers. There goes Vannifar. Now, this Grazer's going to gain way more than 4. It's going to block a 1/1, and then it's going to start blocking their 2/2 the following turns. So, like... Looking for a Wurm, a Skarrgan Hellkite, another Vannifar, an Omnath that we'd bottomed earlier. That's a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a counter. If they have another removal spell, I'm sad that I put a counter on this, but Skarrgan Hellkite's activated ability will just dominate this board if they don't have removal spells, so definitely in for that. Don't do it, Conclave. Excellence binding. All right, I mean, that's technically not a Conclave, right? I'm sad with this Llanowar Elf block if I draw exactly Agent of Treachery. Ravager Wurm. Wurm. Do. Beep. Ugh. Give him the Wurm. Give him the Wurm. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of removal, right? But they're also, like, not putting threats into play. So, like, you know, they have to have something. Wurm is a hungry boy. They have another march here. It looks like we're dead. I get to march for 6. Yeah, I should probably put a Whirly Boy in my deck. You should have one of those in the sideboard. We have like a good number of red sources. I'm not sure Paradise Druid can go back up a Vannifar here. It seems fine. This deck plays a lot of cards that I like to play, that's for sure. A lot of these mid-range decks play cards that I like to play, which makes me sad that we're probably gonna have to shy away from playing them moving forward, but is what it is. Stands fine. It's got a curve, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, Reclamation Sage would be a good one. Yeah, I've got a bunch of Brontodon, but you're right, they had a lot of enchantment removal. Rex Sage. Rex Sage is also just good against history, so it should have been in from the start. And just something had to give Nova Chip in order to fit 4 Risen Reef in. They just like had to squeeze something else out. And Squee was the weak link. Howdy, Ken. Thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday morning. You like tokens, Divik? You gotta check out the website, man. There's a really awesome Abzan tokens deck up on the website. All y'all kids. There's a lot of sweet things up there. This game's coming together pretty well here. To pump up the Risen Reef jam here, so let's block these 1/1s nicely. I wonder if I'm supposed to lead on Phoenix here to bait removal. Phoenix also blocks their 4/3 profitably. It's very possible. Wow, they don't have a removal spell. That's good for us. I guess they could. All right. Binding's actually not too bad for us here. I get to play old Thrashy out. And then end step pick my Vannifar back up, and a lot of their removal is sorcery speed, right? Ha! That's actually kind of awkward. These are my only 2 5-drops in my deck. It's a real shame I don't have a Goblin Chainwhirler, huh? If I can draw a blue source, Cavalier can pod this back into my deck, though, which is nice. Hey, Jedolf, thanks for the half-year support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Hey, there's a blue source for later. I'm going to leave that there, because I'm going to play this other Omnath out. That allows me to kill this 2/2, and then get another Risen Reef trigger, which will let me put another Steam Vents, or which will let me put Steam Vents into play, put another counter on this. We could be dead here. Yeah, they have a big march. Yeah, without a Chainwhirler, and this is a good example of like my deck being a little bit misbuilt, right? Like I said, if I had Chainwhirler, we'd be okay here. We'd have cleaned their board out. They wouldn't have been able to march for nearly as much. Any type of Anthem effect is lethal here. Yep. Let's get and this is why I like playing on the ladder and not playing in the constructed events, because like I could go, oh, I'm an idiot and forgot to put a Goblin Chainwhirler in my deck. I don't have to like drop the event. We can just go ahead and go into here and drop a Chainwhirler in the board. Yep, yeah, Cavalier's like an endless 5, which is sweet. It keeps going back. I'm mulligan this. It's kind of land heavy and it doesn't have double red, so I can't even cast all my spells. I'm gonna keep this because green is the most represented color in our mana base. And we're on the draw and we have a Scryland. So I'll bottom the Arboreal Grazer and hope to luck into a green for these elves. The best time to spend your wild cards is when there's a deck you want to play. There's always going to be a moving target in Standard. And honestly, that's part of the reason why they gave Historic such a middle finger, is because they want people to be constantly spending wild cards in Standard. Whereas like if a format like Historic takes off, it gives people the ability to pick up cards for decks and then stop spending money because they can just play their Historic deck forever. All time zones in my chat are Central Standard Time. Or CT, when I have Central Daylight Time, we're in Daylight Savings right now. That's it, because that's a thing still. Alright, well. We had a triple ramp. They had a little bit of ramp. That being said, Scapeshift is going to go way up over the top of what we have here, which is, again, yeah, this is, yeah, Historic is what they're calling the sad excuse for this is the thing you can do with your cards when they rotate in the fall. But they're not giving it any official support, really. It's just going to exist and won't have a ranked queue. It's going to be a fun, casual format with no extra sets added to it. They figured they'd put the least amount of effort into it possible, so they can most likely can just ignore it. Oh, that's true. This Ravager Wurm kills field, right? Yeah, I could kill field. I don't know, if they have escape shift, it doesn't matter. It would have cut them off of these two zombies, though. Yeah, they're not back adding any sets to Historic. Alright, it didn't matter, they had escape shift. Oh, is it just activated abilities? Yeah, you're right, actually can't destroy field, and we're super dead. Yeah. So, I don't think it's that we're gonna stop playing Standard and Arena on this stream, but my donation deck queue process is going to become significantly more selective moving forward for Standard. I've had to do this in Modern before too. This format is basically just super hostile towards any kind of mid-range strategy, so we're gonna focus on playing more aggressive decks or things that are more heavily interactive. These kind of mid-rangey creature decks like Temur Vannifar, like the Sultai Dreadhorde deck we played the other day between Scapeshift and Reclamation and Mass Manipulation, these decks just aren't competitive. So Scapeshift gets a bunch of lands and a second Field of the Dead and makes a bunch of zombies. And we don't have any comeback from the zombies. They generate like 14 or 15 2/2s. It's a lot more than 7 Ryland because they get multiple fields. Yeah, the green-black deck's fine. I'm actually playing the green-black deck on Thursday. tomorrow in the Fandom tournament, but the green-black deck's an aggressive deck. It's like what I just described. It's an aggressive deck that plays things like Assassin's Trophy to be interactive. So the green-black, it doesn't mean we can't play some off-meta things. It just means the viewer decks, there's going to be a lot more no, sorry, can't play that. Yeah, Naya Feather's a fine one. There are a variety of things. Like, we're going to still have plenty of content. It's just the types of decks are going to become a little bit more narrow. Yeah, all the time. WotC backpedals on decisions all the time. I'm playing the one with Steel Leaf Champion. I posted a screenshot of the deck I submitted in the subs Discord. If you are subscribed and not in the subs Discord, you should be in there. I'll probably play the Party Bus because it's got a sweet combo in it, but I don't think the Party Bus deck is very good. I think it's another one of those decks that's not super interactive that has people just going way over the top of it. Historics being added when the rotation happens in the fall. I'm gonna bottom that. I ended up putting the Bark Herder or whatever it's called in there. The 3/3 that can remove a counter from itself to gain hexproof. For the 2-drop that I was looking for. I wanted to play slightly fewer black spells with only 14 black sources. Just getting gummed up on double black spell hands too often. Good morning, Ashworld. Happy Wednesday. Barkhide Troll, yeah, that's the one. And Barkhide Troll has a foil option, and Direfleet Daredevil does not have a foil option, so really it was an incredibly easy decision to play the foil. Yeah, I agree. I was super excited to explore a new format in the fall, and I'm incredibly disappointed that they decided against allowing that to happen. Does Tomic stop Field of the Dead? I don't think Tomic stops Field of the Dead, right? How's Tomic worded? Can someone remind me? Lands in the battlefield, lands in the graveyard, can't be a target of dispose. Yeah.
Be a bad idea.
Yeah, Scapeshift doesn't target. I guess I can Cavalier of Gales. And I want to stack my triggers manually, right? So we want to brainstorm before we Risen Reef? Probably not, actually. Let's just dig deeper. So I'm actually going to decline putting this onto the battlefield because I want to be able to play it untapped. So I'm going to put these two back into my deck. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, they fixed the sound bug. That's good. All right, and then now what am I potting into? I think I'm potting into Omnath off of Jadelight. They're gonna end step Scapeshift and kill us. Is what's about to happen. Oh, I took him out. Awkward. I'll just grab Phoenix. That's fine. And I can't cast my counterspell because they have Teferi. So they're going to make what I assume is a lethal number of zombies at end of turn. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're going to make yeah, my Brainstorm Shuffle took the activated ability from a 4-mana creature and casting a 5-drop though. So this is 16 2/2s, which gives them 18 2/2s. And nine of them are lethal. I'm not playing another one with this. Maybe we'll just play one with Green Black Rock while we wait, but these are the kind of sweet mid-range decks that just don't really feel competitive the way this standard format is. It feels very similar to last season where if you're not incredibly interactive, just like Mass Manipulation and Command the Dreadhorde and now Escape Ship and Field of the Dead just go way over the top of anything you're able to put together. So these more mid-rangey strategies are going to be things that I'm probably not going to be accepting as donation decks moving forward because they just don't end up working well. So we're going to delete this one off the website for sure. In fact, I'm going to take 30 seconds and do that now. Look at that. God bless WordPress. You're so fast.